I joined Overcoming Barriers in their aquatics program, where we helped individuals with disabilities learn to swim and exercise in the pool. We worked with children ages 2 to 16 with learning and developmental disabilities. There were 3 30-minute sessions each Saturday. We spent our time in the UREC pool, so the atmosphere was very exciting and sometimes intimidating for the kids. There were 10 mentors, so each child got to work with 2 of us, which was really good for one-on-one connection and relationship building. I noticed that the kids were very excited and happy to be there. Being in the pool was really a time where they could release all their energy and just have a really good time. I also noticed that the parents were very thankful that we were taking our time on a Saturday to help their kids and help them learn to swim and improve on their skills. And you could definitely tell that it was something that both the parents and children looked forward to throughout the week. The best thing that happened each week was seeing the kids' faces light up as they entered the pool. They were so excited and looking forward to it all week, so they always wanted to tell you about their week and how school was and all that, and they were just really, really happy to see you. So I felt very honored to be a part of that and very thankful that I got to build those relationships with those kids and really bond with them. The most challenging thing, though, was keeping them on task because it's a big pool and they want to just splash around. They want to jump off the side and they want to play games, and you really have to make them focus on what they're doing and make them, do the exercises. And I felt kind of mean sometimes when I told them, we can't do that. We have to do our exercise. You can't have fun yet. But we really were having fun the whole time. The readings and class materials really helped me interact with these kids. A lot of them were on the autism spectrum, so I noticed a lot of what we talked about in class in the kids, such as limited eye contact, occasional outbursts, and I feel like the readings really helped me know what to do in those situations and know how to interact with them. A lot of my experience was very similar to what we talked about in class. One thing that really stuck out to me was the idea of a spectrum when it comes to autism and how it affects each child very, very differently. I really saw that play out in different sessions. You could have children with autism, but some would be very high functioning, and then some would have more severe autism. And it just really, I don't think I realized in class how broad that spectrum really is. One thing I really learned was how to interact with individuals with disabilities, in my case, children with autism. You really have to make that connection with them, something that you can relate to, for them to trust you, and you can, once you make that initial connection, you can start to build a bond and elaborate on things, and once you find something that you both have in common, they will react very, very differently, and really it's the beginning of your friendship. I have always been interested in working with children with autism spectrum disorder, so this experience, I really got to dive in and see what that was really like, and it kind of proved that I can do it and I'm pretty good at it. One thing that really surprised me was just how different each child was. They all had different skills, different interests, different hobbies, different difficulties, and they're just so different, even though they're categorized in the same way. And I really saw the uniqueness of each child and how their disability impacted them way differently. My experience was a lot different than I had anticipated, mostly because I really didn't know what to expect, but I thought that we would help different children each week, and then we would kind of bounce around and just help them out whenever they needed help, when actually we were assigned a child and each week we got to work with them. And I think that really made a lot more sense to work with the same child each week so that you can develop a bond and a friendship, and so that you can get a lot done and you can teach them new skills and help them improve on things, but also, become kind of a part of their life. One child, we were in the lap pool and he told me, he was like, I can't do this. And he really just thought he wasn't able to do it, and he really wanted to give up. But instead of letting him give up, I really encouraged him, and we spent the rest of the session just trying to complete one lap with no breaks, which seems pretty simple, but to him it was something that he just really struggled with. And so instead of letting him give up on that, I really encouraged him and told him, you can do this. You can do anything that you set your mind to. You just have to stay focused and want to do it and get it done, and you can do anything. And when we completed that lap and we got over that obstacle, he told me, he was like, wow, I really could do that. Thank you for believing in me. And I just felt very, very honored to be a part of his life in that moment, because I feel like that's something that he'll take with him throughout the rest of his life. And it's not just swimming in a pool, completing a lap, but he can really do anything. And I feel like a lot of times these kids are told that they can't do things, so just being able to be the person who tells them that they can is very humbling and just a good feeling. Another critical moment, and I think a very good example of learning on the job, was when our oldest child with autism wasn't doing what we were asking him to do, and he was nonverbal, so we didn't know if he didn't understand or maybe he just didn't want to. So we kept trying many different ways to tell him how to do it, and he would get very frustrated and just let out these high-pitched shrieks. And in that moment, it would have been very easy to just lose our minds, but we had to stay patient and calm and keep trying different ways to get him to do it. So finally we found out that he was very good at mimicking, and it was something he liked to do. So for the rest of the experience, someone would go down the pool with him, showing him exactly what to do, and he would follow. I really loved everything about this experience, but my favorite part was getting to create a bond with a child and get to see that same child each week and learn more about them and just make a new friendship, and even bonding with their parents and talking to their parents, and just being someone who could encourage and empower them and tell them that they can do things. And I just felt very blessed to be a part of that. If I disliked anything about the experience, it was that I didn't get to work with all of the kids, and I wish I would have had more time to create bonds with all of the children, but there just wasn't time. I feel like I have a much better understanding of this population of individuals with disabilities. I've learned so much more than you can just read in a textbook, and I continue to learn more every session, and these kids really do have something to teach you every week, and I feel a lot more prepared to work with individuals with disabilities as I go throughout my career. Another thing that I've learned throughout this experience, and perhaps my favorite thing that I've learned, is the power of encouragement and the power of just one positive statement. So many individuals with disabilities are used to hearing that they can't do something, or used to hearing unpleasant things said to or about them. And when you tell them that they can do something and you let them know that you believe in them, they're much more motivated, and you just instantly become their best friend. And it's something that I will definitely take with me throughout my career, and I feel like I'm better prepared to work with specifically children with disabilities in motivating them and connecting with them on a much deeper level. Both my in-class and out-of-class experiences have changed the way I think about individuals with exceptionalities, in that they don't follow under some textbook definition of a type of people. Just like within a race or a culture or a family, there's uniqueness and there's difference. It is the same with individuals with disabilities. They aren't all the same, and they're very unique, and they're their own person, and they live their own lives, and each person is affected differently by their disability. The success of the Overcoming Barriers program and others like it really comes down to people that are willing to go beyond just I have to be there for class and decide that they want to make a difference and they want to really connect with these individuals with disabilities. When someone sees you taking time out of your day and enjoying taking time out of your day to be with these kids and see you excited and diving deep into the situation and really being passionate about what you're doing, that's when others will want to join because they will want to have that experience, and that's when the program is truly successful. If you come into a program such as Overcoming Barriers thinking that you know everything, it really hinders the success of the program. If you come in and you're just really not passionate about what you're doing and you act like you don't want to be there, then you're not going to get anything out of it. You have to come in knowing that these kids have something to teach you and that you have something to learn every day and that you're not Mr. Know-It-All. And when you become passionate about what you're doing and enjoy that experience of learning something from these kids every day, that's when the program really succeeds. I learned that the key to working with individuals with disabilities, specifically children, is to be patient and calm and kind and genuine. Let them know that you're listening to them. Let them know that you're here for them and that you want to help them succeed. Make a connection with them. Once you make that connection and they feel like you really want to be there and you're passionate about helping them, that's when they'll feel comfortable around you and they'll trust you and they'll listen to you. I will be working with individuals with disabilities a lot in my career, and I will take a lot of the knowledge that I've acquired throughout this experience and apply it to my career. For example, when a new patient comes in, the first thing I'm going to do is make a connection with them so that they feel more comfortable and relaxed around me and know that they can trust me and that I'm here to help them. I'm very interested in learning more about how disabilities can coexist with other health impairments. For example, I'm going to be an audiologist, so I would really like to learn more about how a hearing impairment can affect a learning disability or vice versa. I am guilty of assuming that because an individual has a disability, they might not be as easy to work with or as easy to build a relationship with. I love working with kids, and coming into this experience, I just assumed that these kids would be different and that I would have a harder time working with them, but that was 100% false. 100% false. These kids are just like any other kid, and you can make connections with them and build relationships with them, and we had so much fun together. This experience taught me a lot about myself. One thing I learned was that I'm very quick on my feet, which I never really thought I was. But if a child, for example, wasn't listening or wasn't paying attention or didn't want to do something, I could easily come up with a solution to motivate them and help them out. It also taught me that working with children is something that comes very naturally to me and something I really, really enjoy, probably because I'm still a child at heart.